This video mainly exists because Sandrovich and Daro sort of confirmed my suspicions about Lohan. It was one of those rare occasions where you make an observation, you're not sure if what you saw is true until someone else makes a similar observation, and all of a sudden it's like, oh great, I'm not insane for seeing this stuff. That's how it felt like for me when Oma said he couldn't trust Lohan. And in this video, I want to talk about the huge connection that Lohan has to Nico that is basically undeniable. This is off of my last theory from last week where I talked about the Tiger's vessel. And in short, if you want the Cliff Notes version of that theory, Oma is essentially the power that Lohan needs in order to defeat someone like Shen. And by power, I mean muscle. To understand what I just said completely, I recommend that you watch that Tiger's Vessel theory. I think it's one of the best theories there is, at least on YouTube, for what the Tiger's Vessel is. But the implications of all of this result in both Lohan and Nico actively cooperating with each other to achieve this goal. This entire Tiger's Vessel fiasco isn't possible without Nico, but it also might not be completed without Nico. So this might be, at least you can think of it as, the Tiger's Vessel Theory Part 2, although not in the way that you think it is, because I wanted to talk about Lohan and Nico for a second and why I think their connection runs deep, not just because of the Tiger's Vessel Theory, but also looking at their character designs. I've talked about Lohan's character design before and how his suit looks like basically snakeskin, and I talked about how that wasn't, or I thought it wasn't a good sign. But someone else, Nico in particular, has a very distinguishing feature in his character design, and that is his eyes. His eyes look like snake eyes. And this is actually something I thought of a little bit after I had made my Tiger's Vessel theory, where I was like, wait a minute. It seems as though the character design of Nico and Lohan complement each other a bit too much. And so, because of their connection running this deep into their character design, I think the characters themselves are also incredibly connected. And I think that Nico is basically working as an extension of Lohan to complete his Tiger's Vessel project, but also to do a little bit more than that. And to understand what I mean, I will have to probably remind you of the other thing that Nico has been doing this entire time. Something that we have assumed that he's been doing for himself, and to be fair, he might be doing just for himself. But I think that he's doing this for Lohan, or specifically when Lohan finally acquires the Tiger's Vessel. Remember, Nico did say that the Tiger's Vessel inherits all of the Nico style techniques, including those from Nico himself. This is very interesting because until this point, I had assumed that Nico was flat out lying about that. But what if he was actually telling the truth in the most backwards way possible? We all know that the Nico style was built from the ground up by Mukaku to defeat Shen Wulong. That was the entire point. I think that Nico is still carrying on that project only to help Lohan. I'm guessing the reason why, and this is the only way this theory works, is that if Nico has a very strong connection to Lohan, I think that Lohan is the person that ultimately told Nico while he was still under Mukaku as one of his sons. I think that Lohan was the person who showed Nico his true nature, or what Mukaku was doing by making the other failures or Nico's brothers and sisters do a ghoul ritual. I think that this part of the story is absolutely necessary to explain Nico going above and beyond for someone like Lohan, unless he's doing this for himself. However, what he has been doing for as long as we've known him is that he has been trying to perfect the Nico style, constantly sacrificing human beings to do it. He tried to do it with Oma at one point. He's done it with several of his other students, from Akito to Faye, even Setsuna. We know that he's been constantly working on trying to perfect it. And I think this is the missing piece. This is why I kind of wanted to refer to this video as sort of the Tiger's Vessel Theory Part 2. Because that will probably be the completion of Lohan's plan. Lohan will have, of course, the wisdom, the body from Oma, but also the Nico style from Nico, or the last Nico. And he'll use all of these things to finally be able to defeat Shen, or actually just straight up kill him. The interesting part about this is that if this plan is truly successful, which I think it ultimately will be, because Oma's not the main character anymore, this will result in the strongest character we have ever seen in the entire series being born. We're talking someone who will be able to defeat Shen Wulong, and it won't be a fluke. So much has gone into this plan, from the lives sacrificed to the meticulous planning. However, I think that this theory would sort of bring Nico and Lohan at least to the next level in terms of being villains and being relevant as villains, because they need a way to defeat Shen Wulong. That is seemingly Lohan's target right now. And so we have to assume that their plan, the Tiger's Vessel, everything is leading up to that point. But yeah, that is the video. That's the theory. Quite insane, but I hope you enjoyed it. The Shen Oma agenda, I'm beginning to push it harder and harder. But yeah, until next time, take it easy.